This could also just be some of my own personal imposter syndrome, that we go through. But I feel like an insecurity of mine in my work is that sometimes I felt like, is it cohesive? Like, do I have a style? Like, sometimes people have told me, oh yeah, I knew this was your post, or I knew it was your work. I recognize it. I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like I don't know if I feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, today's episode is gonna be an interesting one. I was struggling to come up with the topic for this week's video, and I've stuck to my challenge of uploading a video at least once every week, every 7 days. And for the past week since the last video, I've had a bit of a cold, so I haven't done much. I feel like as I put out better and better videos and they perform better, I'm being much more careful and cautious, of course, of going back on my quality to meet the quota. Luckily, right when I was like, dang, what should I do? What should I do? It hit me. Some of you guys know that this year I signed with a photography agency, which I've really been stoked about. I spent a lot of time looking through my portfolio on the website for a few different reasons. And the main one being that I feel like this could also just be some of my own personal imposter syndrome, that we go through. But I feel like an insecurity of mine in my work is that sometimes I felt like, is it cohesive? Like, do I have a style? Like, sometimes people have told me, oh yeah, I knew this was your post, or I knew it was your work. I recognize it. I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like I don't know if I feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, or even if I look through my Instagram, I don't sometimes feel like they look super cohesive. Now, when you go to my website, in my opinion, it does go together. I feel like I kind of felt like I had kind of two styles, like one that was mainly my street style, my more, candid, like poppy, flashy, style. And then also like a more, I don't know, I just feel like I had a kind of a split of two styles, like, and not to say they were completely different from each other. I think what I'm trying to say here is that different projects will look better shot in different ways. I haven't wanted to limit myself to shooting one way or another, but I also realize that as I grow, it is important to develop your look and your style. This is what really leads to, getting more work, because you'll be known for a style, it'll be recognizable, and they'll know that you're consistent within the style, and they'll be knowing what to expect. I feel like still I'm missing a bit more of that, like, oh, that's undeniably your style. So that's been one of my goals this year, to kind of hone more in on that. If you're new, check out some of the other videos. You really try to make them on topics and things that I think you will find helpful and will need in the future. So let's get right back into the video and kind of make my work all in all more unison, combining kind of the two slightly different styles I feel I have, like within studio and more outside, and kind of joining them as one. Now, that being said, I still think that, some projects look better shot a different way. Like, I mean, why would I make it look worse to make it all look the same? You get me? But maybe I'm just rambling. It's like I'm making this video a little bit much later than I usually do. I invited over a friend of mine who I worked with. I met when I first moved here, when I was interning at a modeling agency. I did one of her portfolio videos, and I ran into her the other day, and we had been talking about shooting, but she had left town for a little while and she just got back. My dear friend Serena has been asking me for a while to give her a lesson, a course, hands-on on studio lighting, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to mix everything together, and she will be helping us with some of the BTS content you'll be seeing today from the shoot. Lighting wise, I used a mixture of strobes, and I used my Ringflash, which you saw in the video that I'm going to link in the description below. I think you'll really enjoy that video if you haven't seen it already. I know you're going to say something about what I'm tethering with, or tethering to, yes, the mainstream one is Capture One, and I do tether to Capture One, as you've seen in on my jobs. But when I'm tethering at home or just tethering myself, it's much easier for me to just tether to Lightroom, dog. You feel me? Like, it's just like a more direct pipeline to where I'm gonna edit my first edits anyways before I take it to Photoshop. There's not one way to do things, or a right way to do it in this case regarding matters as such. It's only that you figure how to do it your way, and if it works, it works. When I started, I really enjoyed collaging photos together, trying cool, weird, unusual like editing, and again collaging before it was really a big thing on social media. I was shooting the very flash punchy early on, so when it wasn't super popular or known, so I feel like that's kind of how my style started developing at first, with other elements of my style. I like getting the moments that not everybody else can, right? Because if you're a paparazzi, like 50 other people at least are getting the same shot. For me, it's about getting the moments that people can't, behind the closed doors, like the intimate moments that you're being permitted in the space. Even that being said, like at the same time, dude, like I think if you do a shoot for like Anthropology or like Urban Outfitters or what's that other brand, Aritzia, it could look beautiful. It's just natural, no flash in the woods or something, right? And that'll look a different style, or if you just want to shoot it on film. That's where it's difficult, dude. That's where I have trouble to like decipher it, because, if I think something's going to look better one way or just a cooler another way, are you not allowed to do it because you got to stick within the one style that you do? I don't know. There's a photographer who their style, like, bro, like their style, like, if you see their work, it's them. They really knock it out the park, and they do a lot of different concepts, but you always know it's them, and it's always incredible, dude. You'll know who I'm talking about. It's like, I think their name is Zhong Lin. I think they're from China or Taiwan or something. I know they're Asian, but I think it's China. They did that new Equinox rebrand out of, just one of the newer things they've done out of so many things they've done. I don't even know how they put so much work out when they're doing such like quality work, or if it's like they're reposting stuff from before too. I don't know, man, but they're really great. I think they're like an inspo for a lot of photographers and artists in general. Like, this type of lighting for me is really easy because I've done it for so long, but for somebody else it's really difficult. Or, I could say the same about different photographer's style or their type of lighting could be difficult for me, but for them it's very easy, just because it's like what they've known, but if you just stick to what you're not leaving that room for development, or to find out what if you're good at this style or great at it, but there's another style that you're just fantastically amazing at that you would have never found out if you stuck to your one style, I don't know, man. I don't know. I saw this Instagram guy the other day who was like, this like woodworker, painter, drawer, like all these like 7 different like mediums of art, and his caption was like, I had a teacher once in art school who told me that I had to choose one or else I couldn't be good at all of them, and it had to be one. And obviously we've all heard this before, and he was like, thank God I didn't. And dude, like, I kid you not, this guy crazy good at all of them. Like, all of them gnarly good. Like you understand if somebody's like really good at something, like half good at the other, like for those 2-3 things maybe, but this guy was like sick at all 7 and killing it online and like revenue game too. It's interesting. It's up this conversation, but the shoot with Rainy was really fun. I was really excited to incorporate my froggy setup bathroom. I know it's dirty before you start judging in the comments. I wanted to keep it dirty, but like I was meaning to clean it, but I was like, let me just keep it dirty one more day. Personality, like, she's at her crib chilling or whatever, or very kind of like a little bit of that Bushwick taste in there. Not like we're in like Midtown at the Ritz or something like that. It's more fun and more personality, and like why is there 3 frogs? around while you're. And the crazy thing is, dude, so I was like, we were like, yeah, it'll be cool to be like, oh, pretending like you're like, rolling the J at your crib, whatever. And but the crazy thing is, dude, none of us three smoke, so none of us three had anything to use for the prop. And already I'm like, how do out of us three in Brooklyn, New York, none of us smoke? It's a pretty rare thing. So we had to roll a little sticky note. Really think we achieved like looking more in unison with, I feel like, my overall style. The only thing that I would say is like, it was easy for me because I don't know, I feel like photography is one of those things where it's like weird, where it's like the more and more you go, like the more experience, the easier it is in a sense. But if you don't know how to do it, it's harder. Like once you get it down, certain things, like you got it down. And for me, it's easy to do that lighting because it's just like I do it a lot. I feel like if you just adapt a style, like do you just kind of stump yourself and you just stick to that and that's all you know? Or like, can you venture out and try different things? This is kind of why one of those things where like sometimes I like doing different lighting. And I feel like YouTube's been a great kind of outlet for me to allow myself to really, do random things. I saw a comment the other day on my video that's about the video I made about developing film with coffee, and somebody said something along the lines of oh, I like how you don't kind of like put yourself in a box and try different things. And it's true. And sometimes you're scared to do that really on social media, on like Instagram mainly, or to post about it on Instagram, because like I said, Instagram's become a portfolio and you got to keep stuff the best of the best. Instagram's changed a lot. You can only post the best stuff you have on your grid. I'm constantly archiving things, like and you can't post random stuff like film developed in coffee. Like maybe you can for like a day or two, but then you archive it. I don't know, like it's really become like a business portfolio. And I feel like YouTube, since it's more of like a personal thing that I do, I can post sometimes random things that aren't necessarily just my style, but they may also interest other people that have an interest in that as well. I don't know, sometimes I'm just like, dude, like, yeah, I could shoot everything the exact same way, exact same lighting, and the exact same edit, but it's just like, I don't know, like, because then what if I just stop myself from growing and then realizing that there's a different style I want to shoot or that I enjoy better, or that I would have never found out if I didn't try different things. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like that's one of the things that still confuses me a lot. And I don't know if it confuses me, but I find like insecurity or difficulty in sometimes in my own photography career and development, trying to decipher if to some extent you have to like niche down, like people need to know what your work is before they book you. But in another sense, like, how much do you have to niche yourself down? You feel me? Like, it's like if somebody shoots in black and white, yeah, that's great. But like, what if you don't want to shoot in black and white one day, Like some things look wonderful in black and white, but some things may just look better in color. And you may know that as well. But if you're just like known for a black and white photographer, and some photographers are just black and white photographers, like what do you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I mean, some food for thought. I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts on this, to hear what you guys think about this and how it's been for you finding and developing your style, or if you think you even have one. The other thing too is like, not to keep like, sidestepping from the end of the video, but like another thing is like, dude, like, photography is not like modeling, right? Where before you used to cap off at a certain point. Now it's like a little bit more iffy, but regardless, like it's not typically like a mega long-term thing, right? Photography is like technically your whole life career, right? It's like a life spanning thing. So with that in mind, I mean, I'm only 26, dog. You feel me? Like going on 27, yeah, you know, getting up there, but still, and you know, when that looking at the long-term game, you know, within a career of photography that spans your whole life, I'm not like, I'm still very early in it. So with that being said, like, there's still a lot more room for growth and a lot more room for my style to even change completely, you know? And these are the things that I think about. I hope you enjoyed this conversation, but thank you for logging in, y'all. And have a nice day. See you in the next episode. I know I keep saying this in past videos, but now I really am a hair away from getting monetized. A hair. And one of my most viewed videos is nearing its 365-day mark, so it's like a race to the end kind of for me. It's like very close to end, like getting to that mark. So if y'all could like stream my videos or whatever, you know, you don't even have to watch, just like let that run in the background or something, you know, I appreciate it. But all right, y'all, have a nice one and see you next time.